Hi guys, today I just want to talk about trees and how amazing trees are, but also just quickly discuss something that's happening in my local area. So again, I'm a tree novice, but trees are absolutely amazing, as this short clip will just demonstrate. Next time you're in the forest, really have a look at the trees. So I've been learning quite a lot about woods during lockdown. So I'm well into my animals and so on, but I've been quite ignorant with plants and trees and flowers. So I've really been looking into it and using the time to study. And when you think of a tree, it just looks like it's on its own. It's just a big, solitary tree growing. But actually scientists have been doing lots of work and studying how trees actually form networks underground. And scientists have dubbed these the wood wide web. It's quite amazing. So we can't see it because it's underground, but there's like networks of fungi that communicate between trees. The fungi get lots of sugars off the tree roots, and in return the trees get nutrients off the fungus. But the trees use these networks to communicate and share resources, and if we have a tree that's dying, it might actually give its nutrients up to surrounding trees so they can help each other grow. So it's really remarkable when you think about it. But also there's a sinister side to it, and some trees will actually use these channels, this wood wide web, to actually spread toxins and kill neighbouring trees so they can get all the nutrients and all the light and grow. So it's something I'm still learning, but really have a look into the wood wide web. So even though I'm a tree novice, I know enough to know that native wildlife have co-evolved with native trees. They've really adapted to nest in them, eat the fruits and nuts that they bear, and so on. So they've really co-evolved with each other. But there seems to be sort of a drive at the moment, or I should say a fad. It's not a drive, it's not something conservationists are doing, but there seems to be a fad along local authorities and so on to plant non-native trees. Now obviously non-native trees do have the benefits, and all trees I think look beautiful, and they'll store carbon, and we can use them for materials which will save us importing trees. So there are lots of benefits, but how beneficial are they to our native wildlife? So of course wildlife does adapt, but I've been in plantations versus native woodlands, and I know when I'm on a plantation I always think it lacks a lot of life. There's an absence of bird call. It's often very dark and there's very little growth of wildflowers, if any. So yeah, some species adapt, and crossbills apparently do well in plantations, but really the native forests or woodlands seem to be a better safe haven and a better habitat for our own native species. So this brings me back to my own area, and at the moment the local council, they have declared a climate emergency, but they've just released plans to plant over 150 redwood trees sort of either side of the main road coming into Torbay. Now if these grow to their full height and potential, which I doubt they will, and if they do it's going to take a couple of 100 years to see the benefits, but they will look quite grand, you know. And these trees are remarkable. They only root to about 6 to 12 feet. So if you think these shallow roots can maintain these massive trees, but they can, because the roots actually go outwards, so they can go 50 feet either side of the tree, along from the tree, which sort of makes me think, why on earth are they planting these next to roads and houses and so on? Because there could be some infrastructure problems. But you know, that's not my concern. My concern is the rationale or the reason why they're using redwood trees. So the rationale for planting these redwoods, or one of the rationales, I'm sure, you know, it might be more to do with how they might look and how grand they are, but the other rationale is Torbay is apparently not known for its native trees. Is that because they've been chopped down? I don't know. But also it says many native trees do not thrive in the area because of the climate. When you use the words many do not thrive, I automatically think, well, that means many do thrive. And just to prove a point, I'm in the English Riviera now, and I'm in a woodland, and the woodland's called Ockham Valley Woods. Ockham Valley itself means, roughly translated, the valley of oak trees. I believe that's a native tree. But I'm walking in this woods now, and not all the trees are native, but I can see holly trees, ash trees, beech trees, birch trees, hazel trees, and then there's other trees which have been here long enough that I would probably call them native. So the Romans introduced sweet chestnut trees, sycamore trees, so they're here. We've also got horse chestnut trees which have been here for centuries, and they all look quite big and they all look quite thriving. And unless my geography is really bad, I'm in the English Riviera and there's birds singing, and I've seen badgers in this woods, there's foxes in this woods, squirrel in the woods. Yes, not native, but again they've been here for over 200 years, so we might as well start thinking of them as native. So I just want to say, you know, they seem to be thriving and they seem to be more beneficial for nature. So just to finish off, absolutely yes, let's plant as many trees as possible, but make sure they're the right trees, make sure it's the right habitat, because planting trees in the wrong area can actually be disadvantageous to species. So let's restore things back to how they used to be, and let's get out in nature and see the benefits of nature and make nature pay.